Hey guys, and welcome back. So it's been weighing on my mind over the last few days about the Sky saga. I'm gonna call it a saga. I'm not talking about it after this video again, but I just don't like where they're heading. They've added descriptions on a lot of films. I'm not going to list them all, but I'm going to list a few, and that would be Aliens, The Last Samurai, Balls of Fury, Lawrence of Arabia, Gone with the Wind, Flash Gordon, Trading Places, Dumbo, The Goonies, Aladdin, and so on. And this really aggravates me because they haven't done it to all the movies. They've only done it to a select few of the movies. So I had a quick Google search because the first one which came to mind, which was white facing, was White Chicks. They have kept the description on White Chicks, and it reads, two black FBI agents white up and change gender to assume identities of two spoilt it girls in this comedy caper from the Wayans brothers film dynasty. I'm really sorry if I've said the name wrong, but we're moving on. There are plenty of laughs to be had from taking the mick out of brattish rich girls, and our two heroes don't miss a trick. You'll also learn that BF is in fact bitch fit. Now, that description is absolutely fine, but when you compare it to other films of a similar-ish nature, then it's not fine because they haven't added any sort of description to the films. I'm not going to compare it to a film which is exactly the same, but I'll compare it to The Last Samurai. And for those of you who haven't watched this film, it's about a white guy who goes over to Japan and he teaches them how to use guns because they've never used guns. They are very disciplined in being a samurai and etc. I'm not going to go too much into the movie. However, it reads, this film has outdated attitudes, language and cultural depictions which may cause offence today. Epic adventure with Tom Cruise, violent scenes. It says nothing about the film. It just says that it's an adventure film with an actor that everybody knows and it has violent scenes. I'm not okay with that description, mainly because it doesn't say anything about the film. Same as Balls of Fury. Exactly the same description. The film has outdated attitudes, language and cultural depictions which may cause offence today. Slapstick sports comedy with Christopher Walken and James Hong. It doesn't say a single thing about the movie. It doesn't tell you if it's about football, tennis, nothing at all. It just says Balls of Fury, it's a sports comedy, that's it. And they do that with all of the films. I'm just going to flip them on screen really, kind of fast. But every single film on Sky Cinema that they've updated has the same description for the first part, and then it just says what sort of film it is. If it's a Civil War film, if it's a comedy or an action, it has nothing to do with the description of the film. Whereas with White Chicks, and again there are other films, I'm just using this one as an example, it does say a full description of what the film is actually about. And that really annoys me. You can't be picky and choosy when it comes to descriptions on films. You can't write like a full essay for one film and then the other film be like, oh yeah, it's outdated. You don't need a description. You don't want to watch that. Why put it on there? But at the same time, like I said previously, I would much rather them update the descriptions than get rid of some of these films. Because if we don't have those films, and yeah, we can recognise that they are outdated now, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but if we don't have those here, how can we look back and say, yeah, this is what we were doing wrong? You can't just erase the past completely and pretend that nothing happened. It's better to have the past there and be like, look at it as a learning point rather than get rid of it entirely. I know a lot of people in this day and age want to get rid of the past and everything it stands for, but we shouldn't admire the past. We should look at it and say, yeah, that is wrong. That's not how we're doing things anymore. But I don't like how Sky has handled this at all. We should have full descriptions on every single film, trigger warning on each one if they want to go that route. That is their business and that is up to them if they want to add trigger warnings or not. I'm not complaining about that, but they can't pick and choose the films. There are other films out there that don't have trigger warnings, which are like, oh, maybe 48 Hours Later or 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy in there. That I don't know how I sit with that film when you compare it to like Trading Places. It's the same sort of category. So I don't know if they just haven't finished updating it, but they seem to have updated a lot of things overnight. So I don't know if they're going to be adding any more descriptions, but I just don't like it, and I don't appreciate it, and I just had to get it off my chest. I'm really sorry if this is offending some people, but it's just not my cup of tea, and I don't like the way that movies are going now. I've said this many times before, I don't care what race or gender or sex a person is playing a role. I honestly don't care. As long as it's a good story, I'm there for it. So I'm going to go back to Aliens again and use that as an example. That is a really good movie, and I don't understand that they haven't put a description on it. If they haven't put a description on it, people are not going to watch it if they've never heard of that movie before. I don't mind if they have the outdated cultural depictions on there and they put that as a trigger warning, but that is a really good film and it has good morals, and I'm still going to defend that film regardless. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and thank you very much for watching. If you have anything to say about this matter, then feel free to leave a comment, a like, or even subscribe. So that's it from me today, guys, and I'm just really annoyed, so I'm going to leave it there. Bye!